Chapter 152, Killing and Stealing Treasures. According to the scale of the Lichu sect's forces, it was unlikely that they were mobilizing in small teams for spirit stones. After all, to them, something like desire had already been sacrificed to their mission. They had come here for a mission, and the mission assigned to them by the sect was to obtain this lizard skin that contained a trace of divinity. The instant they saw the appearance of the lizard skin, the 8 people from the Lichu sect suddenly stood up. A murderous aura erupted from them, and every one of them emitted the fluctuations of the perfected Czech condensation realm, heading straight for the basin. Their speed was extremely fast. What was even more shocking was that although they looked like 8 people, they were moving like one. Even their footsteps were synchronized with no flaws. They were like 8 sharp blades that were stabbing at once. Some rogue cultivators in their way didn't have time to dodge at all. The instant they were touched, they were like plants under a flood, instantly destroyed. The strength of the Lichu sect caused the eyes of the sea ghost who had been watching them to erupt with cold light. Previously, when they were fighting for the 2 mid-stage foundation building lizard skins, the sea ghost had only dispatched 10 people. There were still 7 to 8 who stayed behind. At this moment, these 7 to 8 cultivators rushed out at the same time, and the fluctuations they emitted were all at the great circle of perfection. This was especially so for the burly dude with the face of an evil ghost on his chest. The fluctuations from his body surpassed the others, and there was a faint hint of foundation building. The 2 sides instantly clashed in the basin. Amidst the rumbling sounds, a cold glint flashed in Xu Qing's eyes. His cultivation base rotated in full speed as he rushed over as well. Although the lizard skin from before had been taken away by the old man from Panquin Row, Xu Qing didn't care too much. That was if the other party didn't return to the 7 blood eyes. Otherwise, if the old man returned and wanted to devour the portion that belonged to him, then he would make that old man spit it out with interest. Hence, Xu Qing directly ignored the old man and didn't even say a word. His speed created whistling sounds as he approached the place where the Lichu sect and sea ghost were fighting. He clenched his fists, and the blood and chi in his body moved explosively. The bot shadow behind him was unprecedentedly clear. Its tall body and cracked surface seemed to contain the red light emitted by magma. Also, the extremely violent aura that surpassed Czech condensation allowed Xu Qing's punches to possess strength that went beyond Czech condensation realm. Boom. One punch hit the Lichu sect and the other hit the sea ghost. Xu Qing had gone all out and unleashed his full combat strength. The might of his punches caused the entire basin to rumble intensely and even create a storm. In this storm, the expressions of everyone from the sea ghost changed. The 8 people from the Lichu sect also retreated and fiercely looked at Xu Qing. "You're courting death, 7 blood eyes." The Lichu sect and the sea ghost organization attacked at the same time. They fought against each other while also splitting some of their strength to suppress Xu Qing, not allowing him to snatch the 3 portions of divine lizard skin that were floating in the center of everyone. Xu Qing's savageness was completely revealed at this moment. To him, who had grown up in the slums and experienced the scavenger campsite, he was no stranger to snatching. At that moment, Xu Qing's eyes were filled with ferocity. With a wave of his hand, droplets of water formed in the surroundings and whistled in all directions. As the water droplets shot out like rain, Xu Qing's body ruthlessly collided with a non-human cultivator of the sea ghost. Immediately after, he slashed the non-human's neck with his dagger, causing hot streams of blood to spray out. Xu Qing suddenly retreated and punched the chest of a Lichu sect cultivator behind him, shattering it. The doused robe on his body was dyed red with blood, and his handsome face was cold and emotionless. After killing 2 people in a row, Xu Qing immediately formed a seal with his left hand and the boss shadow behind him roared, causing the water droplets that shot in all directions to instantly turn into fuel that burned on its own. From afar, it looked like countless fire arrows were shooting in all directions. Under the light of the flames, everyone's shadows looked like they were dancing like demons. No one noticed that there was a shadow moving forward in this chaos, heading straight for the lizard skins. Taking advantage of the spreading flames, Xu Qing abruptly retreated. The instant he retreated, a shadow suddenly leapt up from the ground beside the 3 lizard skins that were surrounded by everyone. At the same time, the void beside the lizard skins distorted and the figure of the old man from Panquin Road strangely appeared. His eyes were filled with fanaticism as he borrowed the chaos caused by Xu Qing's flames to grab at the 3 lizard skins. However, he was clearly a step too late as the skins were swept away by the shadow. Damn it, the old man got nothing and retreated rapidly. The others also sensed this scene and their anger soared. They no longer chased after Xu Qing but rushed toward the old man. Xu Qing's expression was as calm as ever. He took advantage of this opportunity to rapidly retreat. He also secretly kept the lizard skins he had snatched with the shadow and headed straight for the foot of the mountain. Just as he was about to leave the basin, the old man who was being chased by everyone suddenly roared. "I didn't take it. I only have this storage bag on me. Look carefully." As the old man from Panquin Road spoke, he directly took out his storage bag and threw it towards Xu Qing. "Kid, everything is inside. Keep it safe." The old man was also a decisive person. He knew that his words couldn't convince everyone here. At this moment, there was a loud sound as he actually shamelessly shattered all his clothes in front of everyone, leaving only a pair of underwear. After he appeared naked in front of everyone, he even circled around to prove that he had nothing on him. After that, he hugged a huge snake that was watching not far away and quickly fled down the mountain. Although not many people believed him, there were still some who chased after him. Sea Ghost and the Lichu sect were among them. However, the instant they got close to Xu Qing, the cultivators of both sides suddenly changed directions and headed straight for Xu Qing. No matter how secretive you are, it's useless. Others can't sense the aura of the lizard molts, but to me, it's like a torch in the night. Hand over the lizard skins. Both parties' spells were lethal and fast. Xu Qing retreated, dodging the attacks of the Sea Ghost and the Lichu sect, killing intent surfaced in his eyes. He didn't bother with the storage bag the old man threw over. He didn't believe that the other party had left anything good there. Moreover, Xu Qing didn't have much hope that this matter could be hidden from the cultivators here. It was just that the old man's attack just now gave him some expectation. However, since he had been discovered, Xu Qing wouldn't be afraid. As the killing intent appeared in his eyes again, he performed a series of hand seals with both hands and quickly pushed forward. Immediately, a blue-colored talisman appeared in front of him. As spirit energy surged in, the talisman was activated and transformed into a huge statue. This statue was like the symbol of the death god of a certain non-human race. It had 3 heads and 6 arms, and its entire body emitted a cold aura of death. It suppressed the Sea Ghost and the cultivators of the Lichu sect. This talisman came from the dead Merfolk youth. As it was rarely used, the foundation building strike it contained was relatively complete. At this moment, under the suppression, the Lichu sect and the Sea Ghost organization immediately used their runic treasures to resist it. A huge impact spread out, causing both sides to retreat. Although Xu Qing was strong, there were too many cultivators here and blood flowed out of the corner of his mouth. However, the purple crystal's recovery ability instantly healed him. His gaze became deeper as he coldly stared at the surrounding people. Xu Qing licked his lips. The blood at the corner of his mouth was very fishy and carried a hint of familiarity. It was as though he had returned to the slums and the scavenger campsite. He didn't like complicated things. Now that he had obtained the lizard skins and everyone here didn't want him to leave, things would become simple. Just kill them all. As Xu Qing muttered in his heart, his gaze caused the hearts of the surrounding cultivators to tremble slightly. They had seen ruthless people before, but the killing intent in the eyes of this 7 Blood Eyes disciple in front of them caused their hearts to skip a beat. However, the temptation from the divine lizard's mold was so great that they had no thoughts to retreat. Only a few rogue cultivators and non-human cultivators who had watched Xu Qing attack from the start knew how ruthless he was. Hence, they watched from afar as they waited for an opportunity. Among them were the non-human in the straw rain cape and the elephant-nosed burly man. After a short confrontation, the first to make a move was the Lichu sect. One of the members of the Lichu sect had died earlier. At this moment, the remaining 7 people attacked at the same time. Spears appeared in their hands as they headed straight for Xu Qing with an overwhelming force. The Sea Ghost cultivators also moved. Some scattered rogue cultivators and non-human cultivators also rapidly approached. However, right at this moment, someone suddenly let out a blood-curdling scream. His body turned blackish green, and he spat out black blood, falling to the ground as the poison acted up. Poison. There were quite a few of such cases. In the blink of an eye, 7 to 8 of the cultivators bled from their 7 orifices one after another, causing the hearts of the others to tremble. Xu Qing then made his move. He instantly got close to the Lichu sect. He fiercely swung the dagger in his right hand to block the spear in front of him, and moved his body to dodge the spear coming from the side. The dagger in his hand left his hand and directly pierced into the neck of the person beside him. As fresh blood gushed out, Xu Qing's right hand grabbed the leather pouch and the black iron stick instantly appeared. He didn't retreat, but advanced instead, directly fighting against everyone who pounced over. The shadow of the Ba appeared once again. It let out a monstrous roar, causing the sea of fire to spray and increasing Xu Qing's physical strength. Instantly, the basin at the top of the mountain was filled with slaughter. At the same time, as the ground rumbled, the old man in the distance finally shook off the pursuers behind him. He carried the huge snake and turned his head to take a look, immediately cursing angrily. "Prat, so it was you who took them." Amidst the cursing, his speed became even faster. As for the giant snake, it was very unwilling and struggled as though it wanted to help. It let out an anxious gurgle. The old man glared. "That brat is too treacherous, you silly girl." As he spoke, he knocked out the snake with a palm strike and fled rapidly with it. Very soon, he arrived at the shore and directly jumped into the sea to escape.